Well, hey guys, it's Outland. How's it going? Today I want to talk about something that's it's a pretty big topic right now. Of course, that is going lighter as far as your footwear goes. And I have a pair of boots from Keen that was my go-to hiking boot for a long time. Very comfortable shoe. Unfortunately, extremely heavy, and they weigh about over 2 pounds for the pair. So it's about a pound a piece. Starts to really wear your feet down after a while. You get those things wet, you get them muddy, pretty uncomfortable after a while. It's kind of hard to hike in. As I've gotten more in the shift to ultralight, I have learned more about proper footwear, or ultralight footwear I should say, and that is going to trail runners, and that's what I'm trying to do, at least for the warmer months. I may still use a heavier shoe in the really cold months, but for the warmer months, I've transitioned to a trail runner shoe. Of course, one of the biggest trail runner shoe names out there is Altra, and you hear a lot about Altra shoes, and they are very big in the running community. That's where I learned about them, was from my brother-in-law, who is a very avid runner. He does tons of marathons and things like that, and he told me about Altras. He said, go try them out. You know, you might really work well for you. So I did. So last fall, in September, I had my very first half marathon that I'd ever done. So back in the summer, what I ended up doing is I ended up buying a pair of Altras to start with, and these are what I bought. These are the Torin 2.0s. I did a whole video on these, which I'll link up top. But I bought these a few months in advance of the race, and I trained in them almost daily. Pretty much every day I would come home from work, switch into these, run, walk, whatever, just get outside and get in them. These are specifically road running shoes, so they don't have any grip or traction per se. They are meant for flat road running. And these, of course, are the Ultra Zero Drop platform. If you don't know what Zero Drop is, basically what that means is, in real simplistic terms, from your heel to your toe here, this plane is completely level. Most shoes that we purchased, athletic shoes and things like that, have always kind of had an elevated heel, and then the toe would go down like that, so you kind of had a wedge shape. That's, over time, basically what that's done is kind of weakened some of our leg muscles as far as our calves, our Achilles, things like that. The idea behind these Ultra shoes is the Zero Drop is to strengthen those muscles back, have a more natural gait, how we're meant to walk. Man wasn't really meant, we weren't made to wear shoes per se. So this gives you a more natural, almost like being barefoot style of walking, running, whatever. But with that comes some adjustments that you have to make. Basically, you can't just jump into the Zero Drop platform, from my experience and from everything that I've read and learned. Now, if you go out to Ultra's website, they have a really good transition guide out there, and they give you all kinds of information on how you're supposed to start wearing these Zero Drop shoes, especially if you're training for any kind of event, a race, a hike, any kind of thing like that. Basically, you want to adjust your leg muscles to them. You don't want to jump right into it. You want to get used to it. You want to practice with them a lot. I practiced in these, like I said, several weeks before my race, and all in all, it was a really good race, except till about mile 10. And the last 3.1 miles of that half marathon, I got really bad calf, Charlie horses in my calves, really bad calf pain. It was rough, and in fact, I ended up having to walk into the finish line, which was just so disheartening, to go all that distance and then just have to trudge into the finish line. My photos of me at the finish line were just awful. It's like my face, and I'm like, oh, it was awful. But I really had some severe pain, and I don't blame the shoe for that. I attribute that to the fact that I did not train long enough in these. I did not build up those muscles enough that I wasn't prepared to do that long of a distance. Now, I had some other aches and pains and things that came from the training for that race, and I attribute that as well to improper training on my part. There's a lot of things I did wrong. Especially doing long distance training on a track at my local park. One day I did 10 miles around a track. It's a mile long track. I just kept doing a circle around this track. Really, really bad idea, because basically a very repetitive motion. When you go over the same hills, curves, dips, turns, when you do that 13 times in a row, it really starts to mess with your body. Your legs just they take a beating. So when you're training for a run or things, you want to do it on a sidewalk, in your neighborhood. You want to not try to keep traversing the same distance. And so I ended up hurting my knees pretty bad. That was not the shoe's fault. That was absolute stupid idiot me fault. So Ultra says the way you want to train, get your legs in shape with these things, start making your feet and legs adjusted to them. The first week or so, you want to do really, really easy training with them, a mile or two maybe at the most. Weeks 2 and 3, you want to do more moderate workouts, start building up a little bit that way. And then weeks 4 through 6, you can start doing your more strenuous workouts. Now that varies, I think, in my opinion, I think that varies for everyone, depending on your condition of your legs, the shape of your legs, your feet. Some people have had problems with these. They just cannot wear them. And I know a lot of people personally who just says, I can't wear those things. They just don't work for me. And so some people they just do not work for, unfortunately. But there are other shoes out there that do work for them. So for Christmas, my wife got me these. These are the Lone Peak 3.0s. Fantastic shoe. I really, really like it. The great thing about the pair of these, 12 ounces for the pair. So super, super light. They're super meshy, so you get them wet, they're going to dry really quick. And of course, that signature wide toe box. Fantastic shoes. I've already hiked in these a little bit, did a few miles in them. I've done a lot of training in them around the house this past winter, just on the treadmill and things like that. I've tried to not wear down the nubs yet too much, so I don't really wear them out outside on the road, sidewalk and things like that. I wear my traditional Torrens for that. But that way I'm still training with the zero drop, so when I put these on, my legs are going to be able to handle them. But I'm going to be wearing these to a hike coming up here in a couple weeks. Don't know how much backpacking we're going to be doing, but we are going to be doing some hiking. So I'm really looking forward to these. I've got the Ultra Trail Gaiters that I'm going to put on them. So I'm just very excited to finally make the switch to trail runners for hiking and get away from those ridiculously heavy boots. But there's a lot of benefits for the zero drop, but you just want to be careful with it and get your legs in shape. Get out there and just try to build up those muscles that we don't normally use with normal shoes. If you guys have any tips or advice for me with the zero drops, with ultras, running specifically, any tips you can give me to prevent injury or pain or anything like that, I would definitely appreciate it, because I've got another half marathon coming up next month that I do not feel ready for. It's been a really cold winter and I haven't trained very much at all. Done the treadmill and stuff inside a little bit, but yesterday I did a few mile run and it was kind of painful. And now that spring is coming and the time has changed here, daylight savings, I'm going to try to be out a lot more in this next month. So I've got to train for this thing. Fortunately, the track that I'm going to be running is mainly flat, so that's a good thing. But hopefully I don't hurt myself in this race. So that's really all I had to say about that's just my advice on the zero drop. If you're looking at investing in a pair of these shoes and you haven't used them before, do your research, try them out. If you can, try to find maybe a discount pair like I did. I found these on 6pm.com. Got a great deal on them last summer, $50 I think, something like that. So instead of paying $120 on a brand new, super new pair of Ultras, maybe try last year's model. and see how they work for you. And if they don't work, you're not out too much. But all right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will talk to you very soon.